but also I'll be giving you so many activities, a lot of activities for you to do. And then you'll have to hand in. If you don't hand in, I'll be on your neck seriously to hold you accountable. So make sure that if I give you work, you hand it in immediately when you're done, before the next lesson. I'll also be giving you activities before classes. That will start probably next week, before classes, so that when you come to class, I teach for a little while, then you guys present your findings, or you present first, then I teach you something new a little bit. Okay, then you do more activities. So that will be the sequence on how we shall be learning. Okay, I also give you links to the work that we have on the website. You can always be going through as you do the activities. Okay, I'm going to organize those links very well, and then give you those so that you can utilize them as you do those activities. Okay, so that'll be the sequence. That's how we're going to be learning. If you have a question, you can always put up your hand and ask. Remember that it is important for you to ask questions, because I don't want you to concentrate on taking notes here or cramming what I'm saying. I want you to concentrate on understanding what I'm saying. And the easiest way for you to understand is actually to pay attention and then ask questions. So today we'll look at the levels of organization or groups of cells. Here in the levels of organization, we look at the best example we can give is a school where you come from. Just like in our bodies, the schools also, the school carries out different activities in order for it to function properly. They have a lot of different types of people performing different functions. So in your school, you have so many people performing different functions. It's the same in your body. Your body has different aspects or different parts performing different functions. I'm about to ask you some of the people who perform different activities in your schools. But before that, I saw a hand up. Was there someone raising the hand? No? Okay. So what are some of these people or groups of people who perform different activities in your schools? Tell me. Which people or group of people perform different activities in your school? Yes, Kyle?
The teacher.
Yeah. What do the teachers do?
The teachers teach the students.
Okay, they teach their students. That is correct. Another group of people in school that perform different activities? Who wants to go next between Christabel and George? Which other group of people do you know in your school that perform an activity? Yes, Christabel.
Cooks.
Cooks, what do they do?
They prepare a meal at school.
They prepare meals at school. Awesome, that is correct. I think they must be your favorite group of people, right? They used to be my favorite when I was in school. Okay, George. They're Kyle's favorite.
Yes, we have the Askalis. They ensure security in and around the school.
Yes, Askalis for security. So that is very good, okay? That is very, very good. Now, the way you see those groups of people and the activities they perform, it's the same thing in the body. The body is contained of different parts that perform different functions. Now, just like in a school, if we don't have cooks, the school cannot function, all right? In fact, without cooks, I couldn't function while I was in school, all right? I would just give up. Same thing in the body. If there is an organ that has, or if there is a part that has a fault, your body doesn't function well. Okay, your body doesn't function well. So it is every Kyle said that is true. Yeah, it is true. For me, I couldn't function without cooks at school. Okay, so same thing in the body. If the part is not working well, you're going to have problems. You're going to have challenges. Right? You're going to have to have different avenues for you to make sure that that body part can perform its functions again. Okay, so that's the way the body works. Different parts with different functions working together to sustain the entire organism. So that is very, very important to understand. And those are the levels of organization. So let's look at each example. We have tissues, and on this picture, we have examples. But before we even go into the examples of these tissues and what they do, can someone tell me what tissues are? What are tissues? What are tissues? Who knows what tissues are? Anyone wants to try? Feel free to try. Tissues. Hmm? Well, who'd like to try? Okay, so I have these examples here. Maybe they will help us understand what a tissue is. Okay, for example, we have this part here. These, we call them skeletal tissues. They can be found in muscles. Okay, skeletal muscle is a tissue. Okay, these tissues are just very many cells, right? They're very, very many cells. And what is the function, for example, of this tissue here? We all have this tissue. It's on the bicep. You guys love to flex a lot, especially the boys. When you flex this tissue. It's called the bicep. So what is its function? Do you know? You know the function of this bicep?
It enables us to lift something, like
Lifting.
if you're carrying. Yeah.
Yes, very good. Okay, so this bicep here, it is very many cells combined together to help you lift. Okay, so now I want you to relate those words I'm using, because I'm going to ask you to make a definition for what a tissue is. Again, just like Christopher has said, this bicep here helps you to lift things, right? But I've also said it is a group of cells, all right, performing that one function of lifting things. Very good. That's good to know. I have another very, very common tissue here. We call it the cardiac muscle. Okay. The cardiac muscle makes up the heart. As you can see, it is pointed towards the heart. But who can tell me the function of this cardiac muscle? Remember, it's also just very many cells, okay? And they have a certain function. What function is that the cardiac muscle performs? Who can tell me besides Christopher? So between George and Kyle, who would like to go? You can just try. Yes, Kyle.
Yes, I think that is used as that actually pumps the heart. It's the muscle that makes the heart pump properly.
Yes, that is very true. So pumping, all right? These muscles are the ones that help the heart to pump blood, right? So again, these are just The cardiac muscle is a group of cells that are performing that function that Kyle has mentioned, that to pump blood. Okay, then let's do one more, and then you guys have now to tell me the definition of a tissue. Let's do this one, the nervous tissue. Okay, the nervous tissue can be found in the brain, right? The nervous tissue can be found in the brain. It's right here and connecting to the brain. All right. Again, it's just a group of cells performing a certain function. So who can tell me the function of the nervous tissue? What does this tissue do? Remember, it's found in the brain. George is off. So between Christabel and Kyle here, who would have to go? Yes, Christabel.
I want to try.
Yes, try.
It helps in like if the brain, it helps in proper functioning of the brain. It helps in the controlling of activities in the brain.
Okay, very good. Activities in the brain, like what? What is the most common activity in the brain?
Thinking.
Thinking, that is true. Okay, so processing information, we can say processing information, right? The nervous tissue can do that. Kyle, what do you have to say?
I would say the nervous tissue sends signals directly to the brain. Like if you feel pain from your arm, the nerve send the signal straight to your brain very fast.
That is very correct. Sensitivity. You guys remember when we talked about sensitivity and irritability during the time when we were studying the life processes. Okay, so that's another function for the nervous tissue. Okay, sensitivity, sensing whether you're in pain, whether you're in discomfort or irritation. Right, sending that information or signals. So that is very good. Again, so the nervous tissue, just a group of cells doing that function. Okay, so with all that information, we have discussed 3 of these examples, right? Who can define for me what tissues are? We've done so very many examples. Who would like to go first to define what a tissue is? Esther, you're welcome. You came a little bit late. We're discussing levels of organization and we're on tissues. Yes, Kyle.
To me, a tissue is...
Okay, let me just finish it. And once you finish work,
Hold on, please.
once you graduate, you are temporary planning.
Yes, Kyle. Kyle is off. Christopher, what are you thinking? You can try.
Yeah, first give me some minutes. I'm trying to think.
Hey, okay. All right, think about it. Yes, Esther.
A tissue is a group of cells that have similar structure and that function together as a unit.
Okay, that's excellent. That's a good one. A group of cells with a similar structure performing a certain function. That's good. Yes, Christopher?
A tissue is a group of cells that help in body activities, that help in controlling of body activities.
Okay, that's excellent too. A group of cells that help in the body performing a certain activity. That's good. Okay, I don't know if Kyle is back yet, but we can continue and see. So, Esther and Christopher, you two are very, very correct, okay? Like we said, when we gave an example in the first place of the skeletal muscle, we saw that it is a group of cells. And as you can see in this picture, these cells, all right, let me first highlight them very well. Not very well, but I'm just trying to see the borders here. So as you can see, they are more of, they look actually alike, okay? They are all elongated, like you see these lines that I'm drawing. They are all elongated. I believe I have a better picture in front there, but I want to show you that what Esther mentioned is actually true, okay? That they have a similar structure. As you can see, all the skeletal muscles, skeletal cells here are elongated, all right? They're sort of in a straight line. Okay, that's the meaning of elongated. When you look at the nervous tissue, this one is also a little bit not clear, but you would see that they are also of the same structure. The ones that I see that are better off, a little bit clear, are the cardiac muscles. As you can also see, they are also elongated. Okay, so the structure is similar. These are the cells. The structure of each cell in a tissue is similar, okay? Is similar. And as you can see here for the cardiac, they are elongated just like we saw on the skeletal muscle. When you look at the connective tissue here, this one makes up the blood vessels mostly. You can see for them, they are not elongated, okay? They lack almost a shape, all right? They're just irregular. This mark is not doing what I want, but there, this is sort of their shape, okay? They are all irregular, but round, sort of round, okay? And there is no weird one that is different from the other. For example, we don't have any of these which is elongated, okay? So they are of a similar structure and they are performing the same function, okay? So you two are very, very, very correct that a tissue is a group of cells with a similar structure that perform the same function, okay? And that's the way we can put it. A group of cells, a group of similar cells performing a particular function, right? We gave an example of muscle tissue. We have other examples here, like the epithelial tissue, where we have the skin, and the skin is made up of the epithelial tissue. We also have the smooth muscle. The smooth muscle, since it is, of course, smooth, it makes up the most delicate, one of the most delicate parts of the body, which is the intestines, the small intestines. Which other tissue have I not talked about? I think that's it. I've talked about each and every one of these examples. Okay. So those are the tissues mostly we have in our bodies, and that's their function. Okay. That's their functions. Any questions so far? Question on something maybe that is confusing you? So each one of you now can define what a tissue is. If I came at your house and woke you up in the middle of the night and asked you, define a tissue, you would easily, okay? And you'd explain why. As we have seen that each of these tissues performs a similar function, and the cells in there have the same structure, or they are similar. Okay, good job. If you don't have any questions, we can continue to another part. Okay. We have an organ. Okay. We have an organ. Now, just like we have seen the tissue, okay, now an organ, the tissue contains very many cells, but for an organ, it contains very many tissues, okay? So an organ contains many or different tissues performing a particular function, right? That is an organ. The question I have for you here is name any organ that you can see in this picture. Identify any organ that you can see in this picture. So the first one, yes, Kyle?
The brain.
Okay, there is a brain here. What type of cells or what type of tissues make up the brain? Kyle. So you're going to tell me the organ and the type of tissues.
Nervous tissues.
Nervous tissues. Very good. So the organ is the brain and the tissue is the nervous tissue. Another person, which organ are you going to identify?
The heart.
The heart. Okay, we can see the heart here. What is its tissue?
Cardiac muscle.
The cardiac muscle, very correct. The heart is made up of the cardiac muscle. Esther, you're next. Yes, Esther. Choose one.
We have the ileum.
Christopher, what did you say?
So we have the ileum.
The ileum. Okay, where is the ileum?
It's this side.
You can always point. You can use those functions on your phone and point or mark. I'll see it.
Okay.
So where? Or maybe let me move around and see. Is this the one?
No.
Is it this one?
No.
Is this one?
No.
This big thing here?
No. No.
This one?
Yes.
Okay, yes, this is the ileum. Okay, it is the ileum. And you said the type of muscle, the type of tissue is what?
Smooth muscle.
The smooth muscle. Very correct. Good job. Good job, Christopher. Esther, have you thought of any yet? Esther, can you hear us? Have you thought of any? Okay, I don't know if Esther can hear us, but Kyle, do you want to say another one?
No.
Okay, your hand was up. All right, so we have very many other organs that we can talk about here. Okay, Esther, your hand is up. Okay.
The liver.
The liver. Where is the liver, Esther? It is this one, right? This?
Yeah.
Is it this one? Or this one, Esther?
No.
Is it this one?
No.
Is it this one?
Yes.
Okay, very good. That is correct. So this is the liver right there. And which muscle did you say it is made up of?
The liver is made up of smaller units called lobules.
Okay, those lobules are made up of the smooth muscle. Okay, that's very good. Good job. So I was talking about most of these organs you see here are mostly made up of the smooth muscle. So the smooth muscle is mostly in the internal organs, especially the organs of the alimentary canal. Okay, so the stomach, the liver, the diaphragm is not really an organ, but it's mostly a tissue. Okay. Someone is asking how can one point while using a laptop? You can always point your mouse at upwards Okay, you point, you'll see the functions there, then you choose the function that has the word annotate, then you pick a marker or a spotlight to point. That's the way it works when you're on the laptop. All right. So most of these are made up of the smooth muscle, those internal organs. But also have other organs like the skin. Okay, the skin is an organ, and the skin is made up of what tissue? Who remembers what the skin is made up of? What's the skin made up of? Starts with E. Do you remember? Yes, Kai. Yes,
Wait,
Kai.
that was a mistake. That was a mistake. I didn't mean to raise the hand.
Okay. Christopher, do you know what the skin is made up of? The type of tissue? Okay, this is the epithelial tissue, okay? It's the epithelial tissue. You don't need to memorize what each organ or what each organ is made up of, but it's important for you to know, okay? Remember they're here. The epithelial, we say it's the skin. The muscles, we call them the skeletal muscle. The blood vessels, the connective tissue. The brain, the nervous tissue. The heart, the cardiac tissue or the cardiac muscle, and then the internal organs, most of them are smooth muscle. Okay, so make sure that you can easily remember these. You don't have to memorize them, but you need to understand where each one comes from or where it is comprised. So that is it with an organ or organs. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Okay, we have an organ system. Based on what we have covered so far, the two, tissues and organ, who can define for us an organ system? Organ system. Yes, Kaya.
Can you hear me? Yes. The nervous system.
The definition, we're talking about the definition of an organ system. Okay, you give an example. That's okay.
Oh, the nervous system is a system grouped only by nerves that sends signals straight to the brain, nervous tissues.
All right, you've defined the nervous tissues, but we're looking at the definition of an organ system. Yes, Esther.
An organ system is a group of organs that work together to perform a specific function.
Okay, a group of organs performing a certain function. That is good. Christopher, do you have a different idea? Okay. All right. So that is an organ system. A group of different organs that perform a particular function. All right. Now we have all these that you can see here are examples of an organ system. Okay. Examples of an organ system. I want us to identify each. Okay. I want us to try at least and identify each system. So let me point at each and we see we have this one here. This system here, the first one. Okay. This system is made up of muscles. How do we call this system? Who knows? Yes, Esther.
Muscular system.
The muscular system, that is good. Do you have any other word to use, Christopher? Okay, Kyle. Christopher,
Yes.
you unmuted and didn't speak. Any other term we use to define this system? Okay, we can use the muscular system, all right? The muscular system to tell that this system is made up of only and only muscles. And the function of these muscles is support, okay? Lifting things and all that. We have another system here. What is the function of, I mean, what do we call this system? It's made up of bones. Yes, Christabel? Christabel, if you're speaking, I can't hear you. I don't know if you're speaking or not. I see you have unmuted, but I can't hear anything you're saying. I don't know what is wrong with your audio. We can't hear you at all. I don't know what you can do there. Try to mute and then unmute, or you, I don't know, increase your volume or your internet. I have no idea what is going on there. Yes, Kaya, what system is this? It's made up of bones. Yes, Kyle, your hand is up. Okay, Esther. Christabel, that is correct. The skeletal system, she's written down. She wrote it in the chat. That is correct. That is the skeletal system. We have this system here. It contains nerves. How do we call that system? This system contains nerves. How do we call it? Yes,
Nervous
Esther.
system.
The nervous system, that
Nervous
is correct.
system.
That is very, very correct. It is the nervous system. Christopher, you're also correct. Esther, you're also correct. We have this one. Hopefully you'll get this one. This one is nice. This one contains glands. How do we call that one? It's made up of glands. Who knows that one? Let me see, someone has typed. The exocrine system, yes, this is the endocrine system, sometimes called the exocrine system, depending where the glands are, but we normally say endocrine system. Okay, that's good. It's the endocrine system, good job. Christabel, I think. We have this one. It's made up of blood vessels. Blood vessels. Where this system is made up of blood vessels. What is it? Who knows? Yes, Kai.
The circulatory system.
Circulatory system, that is correct. Okay. We have this system here. It's made up of the lymphs, where we have lymph nodes and all other things. The lymph nodes are like, an example is like when you get a wound, if you get it on the leg, there's a swelling that comes between your legs on the side. That is a lymph node. When you get it around your head or neck, you'll get it in the armpits somewhere. Okay, that is a lymph node. Or when you get it where? On your tongue or somewhere, you'll get it somewhere in the throat, just under here, under the jaw. That's also a lymph node. So this system contains lymph. Okay, how do you call it? Let me see, someone typed. Yes, Christopher, that is correct. The lymphatic system. This system, the next system contains lungs. Okay, the trachea and everything else. How do you call that system? Yes, Esther?
Respiratory system.
The respiratory system, very, very correct. We have this system here. It contains the liver, the stomach, the small and large intestines, all those. Who knows this system? Yes, Kyle?
The digestive system.
Digestive system, that is correct. And then we have this one. It contains the kidneys and the bladder. What is that system? Yes, Esther?
The urinary system.
Urinary system or the excretory system. Very good. And lastly, we have these two. Contains these parts here, the reproductive parts. Which one is this? That's what Christopher has. Christopher is answering the previous one. It is the urinary system. We're talking about the last two. Yes, Esther? Esther, do you know this one? Your hand is up, Esther. Okay.
She typed it in the chat.
I don't see it in the chat. The chat, she answered the previous one. We're talking about the last two. They're combined. Who knows the last two? Yes, Christopher? I can't hear you, Christopher. I can't hear you, Kyle.
The reproductive system.
The reproductive system, that is correct. Oh yeah, Esther had typed it. I've seen it. Esther, good job. Good job. So those are the systems we have in our bodies, right? In case you're ever asked about systems, those are the ones. Okay, we have defined each and every system that we know that is in our bodies. So good job. Good job. Lastly, let's talk about the organism. Okay, the organism. What is the organism made up of? What is the organism made up of? Or what is an organism? Esther, what do you think? What is an organism made up of? You can see the way we have been defining each. We saw a tissue being contained of cells. We saw an organ being contained of tissues, then an organ system contained of organs. Now we have an organism. Let's see in the chat, someone has typed, Christopher says, different body systems to form an organism. Yes, an organism is made up of a group of systems, okay? So a group of systems make up an organism. As you can see, all these are organisms. This picture also represents the evolution of man, okay, this theory of evolution, all right? So that is the setting, that is the levels of organization, from cell to tissue to organ system to an entire organism. That's the way we arrange those. So that's the levels of organization. And these levels carry out specific functions and key life processes in the body. They ensure efficient functioning of the body for the survival of the organism, like we said in the beginning. For example, the reproductive cells, the sperm and egg fuse to develop into an organism that has tissues, organs, and systems. Okay, so that's the function of these cell organizations, to perform certain functions for the life processes to take place. We looked at life processes already. So you already know what I'm talking about when I say life processes. Good job. Unless you have any questions. Do you have any questions for me today, what we have looked at? Any questions? Okay, if there are no questions, don't you worry. I have some for you. Okay, I have an activity for you. Let me open it and take you through what I want you to do with it. Let's see where it is. Oh, someone is asking what an organelle is. I think that is Christopher. What an organelle is. Who knows what an organelle is? Who would love to define that for us? What an organelle is? Kyle, do you know? Kyle says, let's see what he says before I open this document. Okay, I'm failing to open this. Let me see. Any number of organized or specialized structures living within a cell or within a living cell. Yes, organelles are those structures that are found inside the cell. Normally, organelles are double membraned, okay? They are membraned structures that are found inside the cell. So they are like the organs of the cell. Okay, you can say that an organelle are sort of organs in the cell, because that's what they are. Those are the organelles. Okay. So they are those double membrane or membrane structures found in the cell. So here is the activity that I want you to do. I hope you guys can see this very well. So the question here that you should keep in your head is that identifying the tissues in your arm. And then what is the use of your arm? Have you ever thought about what is below your skin? That's another question you should think about. What is under the skin in your arm? That's the key question to this activity. What you're going to need is your notebook, pencil, and pen, of course, plus your camera. You'll see later why. So what you're going to do is make a sketch of your arm. Try to name the parts of the arm, okay? Compare your drawing with the figure below and suggest the importance of each tissue labeled, okay? So we have looked at most of these tissues already. You'll draw your own structure of the arm and label what you know about that arm. Then you'll compare with this structure that I've drawn for you. And then after comparing, since you already have your sketch, you'll see what you've labeled on your sketch if we have it here, okay? And then name its function. For example, if the epithelial tissue, if you labeled that on your arm as the skin, because that's part of your arm, what is the importance of that skin, okay? If you labeled the bicep, it is made up of the muscle tissue. What is the importance of that muscle tissue? Like that, you complete all of these, okay? So that's the activity. Do you have any questions about the activity? So after when you're done, take pictures and submit to my inbox on WhatsApp, or you can submit on the email, on my email. My email is always right here below. And if you're not sure of my WhatsApp number, it's also there in the activity. So I'm going to send out this activity in the group for you to do. Could you please send the assignment to my email? I seem to get assignments late if you send it in the group. Okay, that is Kyle. I'm not sure if Kyle, I have your email. Have you ever sent me a mail? If you have sent me a mail, I'll see it. But if you haven't, I may not see it. You can always inbox me your email on WhatsApp. So well done today. Unless you have any questions for me, I'm going to send out the activity and then you can start doing it right now. Send this email to my WhatsApp because this streaming is going to end. So any questions? All right, well done today. Please go attempt that assignment. I'm going to send it out together with the notes so that you can have what to guide you. Good job. See you soon.
Thank you for the lesson, teacher.
You're welcome.